Hey, and welcome back. This will be episode 3 in our developer log for AdventRealms, a game where a player can choose to be an adventurer or they can choose to be a dungeon core. So, just to get some things out of the way here. Now, I would highly recommend another YouTube creator's channel. His name is called Relax and Unreal. I'll link his channel down below for all of my 5, 7, however many subscribers I have. And yeah, so let's get started here. In this episode, we are going to create our base classes, game mode, game player, just our different base classes that we'll need for further development. So with that said, let us go in here. We are done with our INI files. I did move the header and implementation to just the base folder, and I got rid of the public and private folders. So we'll create a new directory. We'll say game, and then we want another folder. We'll call this player, and we want another folder called character. Now these 3 folders, this will have game mode, game state, this will have our player state, player controller, and then this will have our character classes. So in here, let's create a new Unreal class. We'll go to classes, and then we'll say game mode base, and I don't believe this one needs a UGS. Actually, no, yeah, it does. So go ahead and include the AGSC modular game mode base. We'll say my game mode, and then we'll do Core Forged. Yep, my game mode base, Core Forged. So we'll create that. Okay, and one other thing here, you can see that it's not finding our gas companion. So what we need to do is we need to go in here under build, and in here we want to get gas companion. And under here, under modules, we want plugins. Input abilities, input features, comment UI. And we want gas companion. Cool. So we'll refresh our project, and hopefully we can then add that. Okay, yeah, it just took a couple of seconds to recognize it. So and I believe, do we also need... Yes, we do. Okay. Let's go back. Alright. So we have our game mode base, and we need to create our game instance. So let's create a new Unreal class, game instance. Actually, no, we don't want the game instance in here because the game instance is for the entire game as a whole. So we want to put this under source instead of plugins. We want source. We'll add a new directory, and this is game. We'll add a new Unreal class. Game instance. Yeah, we can close out of all of these. Okay, and let's go back into our plugin. And yeah, we want a new directory. sure. I'll name this as player. We already have it. So and we want state modular, the gameplay or gas companion modular player state. My player state core forged. Okay, and we want a player controller. Okay, and we'll make the class now, but we won't use it for a few different until a few different episodes from now. But let's go back into our AdventRealms main game, and we want to add a directory. We'll say player. And this will be no. Let's actually put this in a cheats class cheat manager. Okay. All right, now let's go back into Core Forged, and we'll make a new directory. We'll say character, and here, new unknown class. Player state character. All right, let's go ahead and give it a test build, and it should be good. Okay, and welcome back. I went ahead and did the build, and I grabbed some more coffee. I hope you have coffee yourself, and if not, tea, pop, water, whatever your vice is, definitely get some. So we have a couple of unresolved errors after the build. We'll get these resolved. And looking here, gameplay tag. So what we need to do, tags. And of course I put tasks, not tags. So we did stuff, and now we can build. Okay. There is one thing that we need to include here. If we go to character, okay, and how you get to this, basically in Writer, you hold down the control button and then you click. And what we need, or what we're looking for, is under here, play the modular player state character. We need to copy this right here. And then we go to our implementation. And under here, we add that as well. All right. And then we also, I believe we need a super constructor as well. Yep. So to do a super and object initializer, and we are gravy. So let's do another build. Why did that fail? That failed because There's a character. Get rid of all of these tags up here. Okay. We need to include that. Here. And you can definitely tell that I am not a programmer. Okay, we have succeeded. Alright, and we are going to launch the engine, and from here, we're going to create our blueprints. These blueprints are going to inherit what we just created. And in the next episode, we are going to look into Lyra, because if you're following along with me or with Relaxing on Reels video, he uses a interface to connect movement to the player. Yeah, he uses a to connect the player controller to the player with enhanced input and the ability system. He uses an interface. However, in the Lyra game, it uses some other things. So we are going to go into Lyra and implement the Lyra solution. But anyways, the engine is open. Now, in the IDE, when I went into plugins, you saw that I implemented all of the plugins that should, with the dependencies here, plugins, and you can see our gameplay abilities, ability system, game features, common UI, gas companion, and enhanced input. So these are the game engine, Unreal Engine plugins that our plugin depends on in order to run. All right. Now, let's go here. We'll open up Writer because I want access to our folder structure. Move that. And here, new folder. We'll call this game. Folder. Character. New folder. Player. Now you may remember when I created the game instance. The game instance will be applicable to either the adventure side or the dungeon core side. So we need to go into our main content folder, do a new folder, and we'll name this, oh, we already have that. So create a new folder called system, and in that we will create a blueprint class, do my game instance, AdventRealms, GI BP, game instance, AdventRealms. Save that. And in order to use the game instance, we go to project settings, maps modes, instance class, we do our game instance. So let's go back to our plugin, CoreForged. First things first, we'll create our game mode. So my game mode, select that, P, mode, CoreForged. Not a core frog, a core forge. There may be evil frogs in the dungeon, I don't know, but I'm not judging. And we'll open this, move that here, and you can see all of the blueprints, well, the C++ classes that we created. We are going to create blueprints that inherit from those classes. So we'll save that. We'll just move this here. So we need a game state. Game state. Did I not create the game state? No, I did not create the game state. So cancel out of this. Let us bring Rider back up. We'll do that. That's not Rider. This is Rider. So right click, add Unreal class, game state, gas companion, modular game state. Now, do we want base or do we want the full thing? Yeah, we just want the base. So my game state base. Okay. Close that. It's compiling. Compile complete. We'll open that. I do not want to create an animation. state. We'll just close it out. Okay, now we have it. Okay. Okay, and the last one is our player's character. So my player state character. And that shouldn't be Advent Realms. We should have named that to Coreforged. So let's go back to Writer, hit F2. Related files. Okay, Coreforged. No big deal. There's one other thing with the redirects. Go to default engine and then redirects. Don't need those. Close that out. Much easier doing it this way and just recreating the class, since we are just setting everything up instead of trying to troubleshoot. So let's relaunch the engine. Okay, let's go back into plugins, CoreForge, character, create a new blueprint. And we should have my player state CoreForged. Okay. Player state character CoreForged. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We created all of our base C++ classes, and we also created the blueprints that are derived from those classes. So, yeah, we're slowly getting there. In the next episode, we are going to get into using the enhanced input, and then also tying that into the gameplay ability system to make our input, moving forward, back, left, right, and then your look. We'll tie that into being a gameplay ability. So, I hope you enjoyed, and next episode, we'll get right into it. Later.